Hey everyone, welcome back to another manga review. We got a weird one for you today. As you can probably tell by the title, yes, this is another harem. You know how much I love harems, right? Today we're looking at Tying the Knot with an Amagami sister. Another harem involving sisters. Ooh, don't I just love those? I love it when sisters have to fight over a man. Yeah! Part of the reason why I say that this is a weird one is actually not because of the whole sister thing, but rather instead because they're all like priestess at a shrine. And I get it that that's like kind of a thing with romance, is they kind of dig the shrine girls, but the way they go about it and emphasize the whole religious aspect of it is kind of bizarre. But let me actually explain what I'm talking about here. So our main character is an atheist, and he's studying to become a doctor, and it's kind of his own personal backstory that his mother passed away, and he used to bring her charms thinking that praying to God is going to help make her better, and because it didn't help her get better, he ended up going the exact opposite route and looking towards science and being a doctor to actually put forth action to help people in the real world. A noble goal, although he became a lot more pessimistic because of this experience. Now, while he's studying to become a doctor, he finds that he has no place to stay, but a shrine offers to take him in and let him stay there for seemingly no reason, but as he shows up, he realizes that the reason why they were so willing to take him in and let him stay there is because the owner of the shrine wants to set him up with one of his 3 daughters. Now, out of all the girls, he's not in love with any of them, but he is in love with someone. He is in love with his foster mother. So he's playing along so he has a place to stay, but he's not really, seeing any of these 3 girls as an option for him to date. Now, the main character is 17. The other girls vary in age, the oldest being 20 years old, the youngest being 14 years old, and the middle sister being the only one who's actually his age, who's actually 17. She's also the one who is the most aggressive towards him because she is a very strong believer in her faith, even to the point of being superstitious with all the charms and whatnot, which is a good way to contrast his atheism and his pessimism. You go through the first half of the manga kind of just assuming that this is a fake harem, which that's what I assumed anyway. For those of you who don't know what I mean, it's like when they set up multiple love interests, but it's very clear at the beginning that the main character is going to end up with the one true choice, And that's kind of what it seemed like with these 2 characters, with her being the only one who actually has any sort of dynamic with him, but also being the only one that's actually his age. You kind of just assume, oh, so this is like the real love interest. The 2 are just kind of side characters who aren't going to be legit choices. So one of the plot threads involves her losing the ribbon in her hair that was given to her by her deceased mother. He can sympathize with her losing something very precious to her. So he goes out all night to find it, despite the fact that he has, not had the warmest welcome by her. She ends up finding him late at night looking for it and notices that he has actually started to pray to find it. So she walks up to him and prays with him, noting that she was way too hard on him. And we as an audience can note that it means that he hasn't truly lost his faith. So they set this up as a somewhat romantic scene, but then almost immediately after this scene concludes, that's when, of course, it's revealed to him that he has to pick one of these 3 sisters to marry one day. And that's when the manga just kind of spirals into a average harem, where he has to go on dates with each of these girls. And yeah, it just seemed so bizarre how this manga opened versus what it actually turned into once we pass like 60 pages. Because it opens with this whole theme like it's gonna be one of those atheist refines his faith and also cute girl type stories. Like one of those God is not dead movies, but in manga form. That's the impression it was giving me, at least. And then we just go into harem territory, and it's like you get whiplash. And after going on dates with each 3 of the girls, he ends up having this vision that he's actually going to end up marrying all 3 of them, which is my least favorite type of harem, when they actually end up with all 3 of the girls. But now you're mixing it with religion, like, yes, God is real, don't you understand? And he wants you to fuck 3 girls. You heard of wet t-shirt competitions? Now get ready for wet kimono competition. Are we actually getting an orgy at a shrine? Is this the direction that you want the manga to go in? It's so weird. It can't be just me, right? I can't be the crazy one. No. It's the children who are wrong. What it actually feels like is that these were 2 completely different manga ideas that the creator had, and instead of picking one of those ideas, they decided to do both of them. So now we have this shrine romance that turns into a harem. That's the only explanation I can really think of, unless maybe the editor wanted to squeeze in a harem out of this story idea. Man, I sure love your story about an atheist finding his faith again, but you know what this story really needs? A harem. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that an editor tried to push adding in fetishes or other weird drama plot points into a story just because they want it to sell better, and they know what sells, unfortunately. I'm not a huge fan of those types of stories about atheists finding their faith again, but I'll say this much, I enjoyed that portion of the manga so much more than the last portion of the manga. Once it just turns into an average harem, it's all downhill from here for me. I lost my interest completely in it, because at least when you had the atheist finding his faith again story, it was a little bit less predictable. So unfortunately, no, I can't say that this manga is a recommend from me. I would probably avoid it if I were you, unless anything that I said during this review made you want to read it. I mean, I don't know, everyone has their own likes and dislikes. If you heard those plot points and thought to yourself, yeah, that works good together, then maybe you would like it. I did not enjoy. I did not really enjoy it. But most of you could probably have already predicted that just by the fact that this is a harem. It's very rare that I read harems that I actually think were done decently. I think it happened never. Okay, maybe it happened once in my entire lifetime when I read a harem and I was like, oh, they actually handled that good. Usually it's the harems that I can put up with are the fake harems, where it's there is an actual choice and the other love interests are not really legit choices for the main character. But I know that some people actually hate those, so maybe that's just a matter of taste, that I prefer those as opposed to real genuine harems where the guy ends up with all of them. But yeah, if there's any other mangas you want me to check out, definitely leave your own opinions, your own recommendations down below in the comments section. Like the video if you did enjoy my little review. Subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews from me. I'll see you guys next time. Till then, bye! This video is sponsored by no one. Which is exactly why you should head over to burningstarcomics.net, where you can purchase independent comics made by me and my friends. You can even head over to Subscribestar, where you can join the fan club and get sneak peeks at new comics and art made by yours truly. Speaking of the fan club, let's give them a shout out. Program restart.